Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, you guys? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your news and rumors video on Sunday, February 9th, 2020. Hope everybody is having a nice, relaxing weekend, just laying around, chilling out. There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend with wrestling and sports. XFL started yesterday, Vince McMahon's football company, the alternative to the NFL. I gotta admit, the games yesterday weren't that bad, and I kind of like the rules that they got in the XFL with all the kickoffs and the points scoring after touchdown. But we will get to the XFL today. Oh, trust me. That will be involved in the main event topic when we go over the quarter four conference call for Vince McMahon. Oh boy, I'm going into it, man. I'm going into it. But as for today's topics, we do have a name change for one half of the Raw Tag Team Championships. We will go over that. New Japan Pro Wrestling is coming back to Madison Square Garden on Saturday, August 22nd, 2020. We'll go over that as well. And your main event topic of the week, the WWE Quarter 4 conference call with Frank Riddick and Vince McMahon. All the lies and the questions he dodged, and oh boy, I cannot wait to talk about that, man. I'm going into it very deeply. I'm going to go into this conference call detail by detail, and we're going to go over the questions that was told by Vince, and you're not going to want to miss it, man. You're not going to want to miss it. But before, also, I'll be probably catching up on Wrestling 2 today. New Japan beginning in Osaka. I'll catch up on that today as it happened earlier this morning. And I might watch a little Ring of Honor too, so they got a show tonight. So, 2 shows that I might catch up on. So, that's that. But before I get into the news and rumors, go check out this week's AEW Dynamite review. Cody takes 10 brutal lashes from MJF. And also, check out my NXT review as we had the long-awaited return of the Velveteen Dream. It was about time that he came back. One of my favorite wrestlers in the entire WWE. He's back on NXT, and it's very exciting. I don't want to waste any more time, man. So without further ado, let's get into the news and rumors for this week. Friday night. Friday night before SmackDown came on. I'm on Twitter. I'm just scrolling through, and I don't know who did. I forget the guy who posted it, but he had a picture with Buddy Murphy's profile on WWE.com. And it said, Raw Tag Team Champion Murphy. So I'm like, wait, what? Why does it just say Murphy and not Buddy Murphy? So what I did was I went on to WWE.com. I read the roster, and it did say Murphy. So, and then as an advertisement on WWE's Twitter page for an 8-man tag this week, which is Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and the Viking Raiders versus the AOP, Seth Rollins, and Murphy. Not Buddy Murphy. Murphy. Boy. Boy, oh boy. Vince McMahon and his stupid name changes. We had Andrade Cien Almas turn into Andrade. We had Mustafa Ali turned into Ali. We had Apollo Crews turned into Apollo until he came back to being Apollo Crews. We had... Now this one makes sense. We had Otis Dozovich going to Otis and Tucker Knight going to Tucker. For a tag team, it makes sense, yes. For an actual tag team, I should say. So Otis and Tucker, that makes sense. Changing the War Raiders name from Hanson and Rowe to the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, that was absolutely... Don't even get me started on that, man. Don't even get me started. That was so mentally retarded. It was just mentally retarded that they do that. And now they want to change Buddy Murphy's name to Murphy. Well, for one, I will always call Buddy Murphy by Buddy Murphy. I will never call him Murphy. Just like I never called Ali. I never called Mustafa Ali Ali. And like I never called, Shorty G. I never called Chad Gable Shorty G. Because that's disrespectful. But this name change, the name changes have to stop, man. It's stupid, it's weird, and two names sound better than one. That's like, are you really gonna change? I don't know. Let's say Roman Reigns. Okay, are you gonna change Roman Reigns to just Roman? That's idiotic. That's very idiotic, and Vince has to stop. It's not cool. It's not cool that they changed Buddy Murphy's name to Murphy. Yes, his name was Murphy in NXT when he was in the tag team Blake and Murphy. That made sense. Changing his name to just Murphy now, it just sounds, like I said, it sounds idiotic. It sounds very idiotic, and I don't like it. And I know most of the community doesn't like it as well, so... That's my thoughts on the Buddy Murphy name change. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh boy. I woke up to see this news this morning, and I had a huge smile on my face. I was like, oh my, they're going back to where the G1 Supercard was last year. Madison Square Garden, baby. They're going back to Madison Square Garden. I got an article about it that I'm about to read right now from the Wrestling Observer. New Japan Pro Wrestling is returning to Madison Square Garden this summer. During the New Beginning in Osaka, New Japan announced that they'll be holding a show at Madison Square Garden in New York City on Saturday, August 22nd. August 22nd. The event is called Wrestle Dynasty. Ticket information for Wrestle Dynasty has yet to be revealed. New Japan's English language website wrote to stay tuned for further information about the show. New Japan and Ring of Honor co-promoted G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden on the Saturday of WrestleMania weekend last year. The show was headlined by Kazuchika Okada defeating Jay White for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Wrestle Dynasty is taking place on the same day as NXT TakeOver Boston at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. New Japan's G1 Climax. Oh wait, hold on. So that's it. He just talks about G1 dates in Osaka. So who cares about that? We'll get to that down the line. It's not ready yet. But this is absolutely huge news. This is great news for New Japan fans and fans for, around the New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia even, I guess you could say, or just fans around the world who, are probably going to go to this show, There's a lot of New Japan fans in New York that I know from Twitter. Indigo Uchiga is one of them. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. Shout out. But he's a huge New Japan Pro Wrestling fan. And I'm pretty sure he will be at the Madison Square Garden for this show. It's gonna sell out quick. I think it's gonna sell out pretty damn quick, cause they sold out last year quickly too. Now they sold out because they thought they were gonna see Cody and the Bucks and Kenny Omega, but they had obligations with AEW to do. So, I mean, the show was still amazing that they had last year, but knowing that New Japan has one of the best rosters in the world, you got Okada, Naito, Jay White, Ibushi, Tanahashi, Zack Sabre Jr., Will Ospreay, Shingo Takagi. I can name so much more. John Moxley, he might be there. This show will sell out. And they do not need Ring of Honor's help to sell out Madison Square Garden. They don't. They can sell out Madison Square Garden on their own. They carried the G1 Supercard last year. In my honest opinion, they carried the G1 Supercard last year, and they made the show. That match between Okada and Jay White was picture perfect. It was picture perfect. And this is, like I said, this is a huge deal for fans in the Newark, New Jersey, New York area, the Manchester area, Manchester, New York, Rochester, New York, whatever, or any place in New York, Brooklyn, they're gonna show up for this show. I guarantee, and this event is going to sell out very quickly. I can guarantee you that. But I'm gonna at least attempt to go. August 22nd. There's gonna be no school then. Summer vacations on this weekend. The weekend of SummerSlam, we'll get that later. But going to Madison Square Garden, the most historic arena, is honestly on my bucket list. I would love to go see Madison Square Garden and go to a show there. There is no better time for myself to go to Madison Square Garden than there is on August 22nd. I'm going to make every single attempt to be inside MSG for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I can guarantee that. I'm going to try my hardest to get tickets for that show. I don't care if I'm sitting in the upper level. I will go. Hopefully. Now, they're going head to head with NXT TakeOver Boston the same night. So on August 22nd at 7 p.m., you're going to get Wrestle Dynasty from New Japan, and you're going to get NXT TakeOver Boston. Knowing that NXT is going to be going up head to head with New Japan, do you know how stacked NXT TakeOver Boston is going to be? Do you know how stacked Triple H is going to make that show? That show, I can guarantee right now, that show, NXT TakeOver Boston, could be one of the best takeovers Triple H has ever produced. That's because they're going up head to head with a gigantic New Japan show being held at Madison Square Garden. So Triple H is going to do everything he can to make that takeover, unbelievable. That is going to be historic. That is going to be a great weekend. That night specifically, the 22nd of August, that's going to be great. And like I said before, I'm going to attempt to go to New York for that weekend and be at that show on August 22nd. I can guarantee that. Finally, the main event topic of the week. The WWE Quarter 4 press conference call for Vince McMahon. Oh boy. the lies, the amount of questions he dodged from callers. Unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And you're not going to believe the stuff that he said. A few quarterly notes for their releases. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the important stuff that happened during the press conference. Like, I don't care the TV deal in India. I don't care about that. I just don't. The Saudi Middle East TV deal. I don't care about that. I don't care about the Saudi Arabia stuff, man. I don't care. WWE Network subscriptions dropped by 10% to 1.42 million. And Vince McMahon is predicting a slight increase to 1.47 million for quarter one of 2020. So we're going to talk about that first. You're predicting that the network subscribers are going to be 1.47 million by the end of quarter one, which is after WrestleMania, the biggest wrestling show of the year. That is kind of disappointing that you were predicting that low of a number for network subscriptions for the time the most that you care for WrestleMania season. The most work that WWE does is from January, the Royal Rumble, to April, WrestleMania. That is their busiest time of the year, and they are predicting 1.47 million subscribers at the end of quarter one for 2020. That is sad. That is honestly sad. And you know why? You know why network subscriptions are going down? Because the television shows are not good. The Raw is not good. SmackDown is horrible. SmackDown is the worst wrestling show in the world right now. If you had better TV shows, you would get more people interested. And network subscribers could go up. That's one thing WWE needs to do. One thing they need to do is they need to make new fans. There's always people that come around and they watch WWE from this time period because they know that it's WrestleMania season, and WrestleMania is the biggest wrestling show of the entire year. Okay? It's the biggest show of the entire year, so you know that there's going to be people who come out every time this year to watch WWE and get ready for WrestleMania. And then after WrestleMania, they don't come back until next year's January. They don't come back. It's like they simulate from April all the way until January of next year. They need to make new fans after WrestleMania. Okay? You need to persuade these people with producing good television shows on a weekly basis. It can't be once every few months. It can't be once a month. It can't be once a week. You have to produce good wrestling product on a weekly basis. And if you produce good wrestling product on a weekly basis and have good shows and have a really good WrestleMania, then those people who came back just to watch WrestleMania, you might have them hooked for a little bit for that May and June and July and August. No one cares about the summer months in the WWE except for SummerSlam. No one cares about, Saudi Arabia show or Extreme Rules or whatever. Those people don't care about those pay-per-views. They care about WrestleMania. The only pay-per-view they care about is WrestleMania. And you need to make new fans after WrestleMania season. So that's my rant on making new fans. They desperately need to make new fans. And with new fans comes more subscribers to the network. Unbelievable. More on the network drops is what's on the network. what's really on the network that is worthy of buying. The only reason people had the network was because of NXT, because that was the only place that you could watch NXT on a weekly basis. Now that you have NXT on the USA Network and they're going up against AEW on Wednesday nights, they're not on the network anymore. They're on the network on Thursday at 8 p.m., but people just DVR NXT and they watch it after AEW or they watch it the next morning. No one's going on the network at 8 p.m. on a Thursday night to watch NXT. And plus, with the DVR, you just fast forward through the commercials. So there's legitimately nothing on the network to watch except for the pay-per-views. And now we go into the next topic for the network. WWE is thinking of selling WrestleMania, or thinking of putting WrestleMania on Fox Sports or ESPN Plus or Hulu. They're thinking of selling the big four pay-per-views, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and the Royal Rumble, to other streaming services and get them off the WWE Network. That is a terrible idea. You are jeopardizing the integrity of the WWE Network just to make a few billion maybe. Just to make cash. The WWE is all about cash. They are ruining the integrity of the WWE Network by putting WrestleMania on other streaming services. You know, one of the reasons why that's a terrible idea, because, guys, do you want to see commercials during WrestleMania? I don't. I don't want to see commercials during WrestleMania. How good would it look if there is a commercial break being played in the middle of, let's say, the Universal Championship match at WrestleMania? That is going to look horrible. There's commercials playing during a Universal Championship match at WrestleMania. That is going to piss people off. And what makes you think, Vince, that people are already subscribed to the WWE Network for $9.99 a month, and now they gotta join another streaming service just to watch the pay-per-views? No one wants to do that. No one wants to have to go sign up for ESPN Plus and pay their monthly rent or whatever. No one wants to do that. So, please, just stick to the network for WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, and the Royal Rumble. Heck, if you want to put the pre-shows for those shows on Fox, by all means, go ahead. I don't care about the pre-show. But don't do that to the main show. Do not do that to the main show. I do not want to see commercials during WrestleMania. That is ridiculous. So that's my part on the WWE Network. Here we go. Quarterly and yearly notes for live events. Quarterly live event revenue increased to $27.4 million, but was down from last year's $33.4 million. The lack of a super show in Australia was blamed, as well as less events. Let me say that again. The lack of a super show in Australia, freaking Australia, was blamed, as well as less events. Guys, do not believe the load of crap that Vince McMahon said about live event decrease. No Super Showdown in Australia is the reason that live event attendances were down. That's bullshit. That is absolutely bullshit in my opinion. The reason live event attendance are down, here I go again. If you had better TV shows, then people would want to buy tickets to go to the house shows. Oh my god, it's that simple. If you produce good television on a weekly basis, people will spend their Saturday night at a WWE house show and pay their money, to see the Raw and SmackDown superstars. If you're not producing good television, then nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to go. The only house shows people want to go to is NXT house shows, and they're like once a month. They're once a month. Jesus. I mean, at this point, I go to a house show every year in Wildwood, New Jersey. I go to a house show every year in Wildwood, New Jersey, and I enjoy it. I have a fun time. But as much fun as I have on that, you might as well just cancel live events. What's the purpose for them? What's the purpose for having house shows? Seriously. It gives superstars more time to rest and more time to be with their families if they're not on the road every single weekend doing a house show. You go to work on a Monday and then you go back home on a Tuesday and then you go back out on a Monday. Or for SmackDown, you go out on a Friday, you go home on a Saturday, and then you go back out on a Friday. That's the way things should work. These house shows are absolutely pointless, and people don't want to go to them. So, you know what? Just cancel them. Just cancel them, please. Excluding NXT, WWE has held 70 shows in Q4, 50 North America, and 20 international. That's down from 2017's 87 Q4 events, 64 in North America, and 23 in international. Year over year, live event revenue fell to $125.6 million, down from $144.2 million in 2018. That was attributed to 56 fewer shows, lower average attendance, and the lack of a Australian Super Showdown. Again, don't believe that bullshit. That is a lie. That is an absolute lie. Average North American attendance increased by 15% to 5,800, with an average of ticket price of $57.13. Whatever, who cares? Let me see what to read. Quarterly consumer product revenue increased to $30.8 million, but was down from last year's $32.8 million. Year over year, it was down to $91.7 million from 2018's $106.6 million. Lower video game royalties were to blame. Yeah, maybe you might want to create a friggin' better video game for WWE 2K20. Jesus. No one plays WWE 2K20 anymore, man. Call notes. Let's get into the calls. The most intriguing and game-changing part of the call, Vince McMahon says that the selling of our rights to the majors could be significant venue increase for the company, adding there is very strong interest in it. At this point, there's nothing that would stop the company from selling the rights to their major shows like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, or other entities. According to interim CFO Frank Riddick, that would indicate big changes to the network are coming and coming soon. Again, we went over that. I think that's a terrible idea because no one wants to sign up for another streaming service just to watch these shows, and no one wants to sit through commercials during a WrestleMania and a Royal Rumble. McMahon said Barrios and Wilson leaving was due to differences in the vision of the execution of plans going forward, but that the company won't miss a beat. We'll see how that goes, man. We'll see how that goes. India, who cares? They were asked repeatedly about XFL, forcing Vince to I don't know how to say this word, so I'm just going to skip it. I'm going to pronounce it, but I might say it wrong. Reiterate. That's what it is. Forcing McMahon to reiterate several times that WWE and XFL are two separate entities completely. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is bullshit. Because how is Vince McMahon getting all this money for doing his stuff with XFL? You know, his 8 teams, you know, he's got to use some money from the WWE. He can't use it all by himself. So yes, WWE and XFL are not two separate entities. Vince McMahon is using money from WWE to help the XFL. Don't believe Vince McMahon. Don't believe him. Talent costs have increased as revenue has increased as they get a percentage, something McMahon says he's quite proud of. Well, we'll get to talent costs in a little bit, man. Even though McMahon has a few more direct reports, he said he can handle it. I've got broad shoulders, and I can handle a lot. Sure you can. Oh my God. This is the last thing we're talking about for the conference call, then I'm going to wrap it up. Vince McMahon was asked if AEW has changed anything for them. He said it hasn't, as WWE's focus remains on storylines and resolutions. NXT continues to compete against them, and I feel very confident that NXT is putting up good competition against them on Wednesday nights. Then he was asked about AEW's edgier content. He says, oh, no, we don't need edgier content. We're fine. We're fine the way we are. We're good with business. They're not impacting us. Blah, blah, blah. AEW is not impacting the business in WWE, you say. AEW is not impacting the business in WWE. 2 examples I'm going to say about this. NXT. It was in the summer that AEW announced that they were having a weekly television show, AEW Dynamite, Wednesday nights on TNT, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. A few weeks later, NXT announced that they were moving to the USA Network on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Yet AEW is not impacting the business. They're trying to draw competition against AEW with NXT. Something they completely didn't even have to do. They could have left NXT on the WWE Network and just gone about their own business, but no. This was a war between Vince McMahon and Vince McMahon's own ego. And what happened? Vince McMahon's ego got in his way, and he put NXT on the USA Network, going up against AEW on a weekly basis. And look what's happening. AEW is beating them in the ratings every single week. I don't mean to brag, but I'm telling the truth. And then 5-year deals. Before AEW was a thing, it used to be 3-year deals. Since AEW's existence, Vince McMahon and WWE has signed superstars to multi-million deals for 5 years. That is 5 years with Vince McMahon. They recently asked the Revival $1 million each for 5 years. And they turned it down. Yet AEW is not impacting WWE. How many superstars have they signed to 5-year deals? Let's see. Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Dana Brooke, Jinder Mahal, Mojo Rawley, The Street Profits, Kevin Owens, The New Day, Becky Lynch, Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn. I can go on and on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They want nobody to go. It doesn't matter how low their value is. If it's Jinder Mahal, no, he's staying. He's going nowhere. We got no plans for him, but he's staying. He can sit at home and we'll give him money. Dana Brooke, she's in catering every single week. We need her to stay. She can't go anywhere. Even though her value is so low, we need her to stay with the company. We can pay her money for sitting at catering. You know? That's the pettiness in the WWE. That is the freaking pettiness in the WWE. And it makes me sick. It makes me sick that they pay more money to these superstars to do nothing. To do nothing. And I'm sure guys like Matt Hardy, he's on his way out. The Revival, they're on their way out. Rey Mysterio, I'm sure his contract's up after WrestleMania. He's on his way out. Freaking pettiness in the company. And then Vince McMahon goes, he has the balls to say, who wouldn't want to work for WWE? That is laughable. That is freaking laughable. Yeah, who wouldn't want to work for WWE when, you know, the creative team sucks. The creative team is writing for an audience of one. They don't care about the product. They don't care about Raw and SmackDown. They only care about Fox and Saudi Arabia and money. WWE is a company that only cares about money, and it's a shame. It's a shame. Who wouldn't want to work for WWE? Give me a break. Give me a break. I'm done. Thank you guys for watching today's News and Rumors video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel, as we got coverage for AEW Dynamite, NXT, and NXT TakeOver Portland next week right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Like this video with a super kick. Comment down below what you thought of the News and Rumors for this week. Buddy Murphy name change, New Japan going to Madison Square Garden, and the Vince McMahon Q4 conference call. Let me know your thoughts on that. Share this video with your friends on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Joseph Conlon. Follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins. And I will be back right here on the Big Fight Field channel Wednesday night for your AEW Dynamite review from Austin, Texas. It should be a good show, man. It should be a good show. I'm going to get out of here, catch up on some wrestling. Have a good day, guys.